All about Scorpio, part 16. This time we're going to talk about Scorpio in marriage. So how is it to have a Scorpio as a wife and a Scorpio as a husband? And this one's not going to take too long, not, the usual 40-minute recording, but definitely I'm going to post another recording, and on the next recording it's about a Scorpio to Scorpio relationship. That is because I saw this really interesting forum, a lot of responses, a lot of people sharing their experiences with a Scorpio partner. Okay, so both are, Scorpios, either sun sign, moon sign, or rising sign. But anyway, let's start first with this topic, Scorpio and marriage. And this is actually from astrotarot.net. Okay, let's read it and let's check it out. Scorpio as a wife. Scorpio as a wife understands marriage very seriously, and she has an old-fashioned attitude towards the double duties and obligations, even when she is very in love with her husband. If she managed to suppress this conservatism, she will follow the speech of her heart without any regrets. She is loyal and brave. She does not need a hot atmosphere in the house of her love to burst into flames. She enjoys the responsibility of a large family. She's a very capable person for different professions. But once she stays in the house, all of her energy and talent will be focused on her home and children. I guess so. Yeah, I would agree to that. Scorpio female allows dominance in her lover, at least in the beginning of the relationship, and knows how to manipulate things to go her way. She is much better mother than Cancer or Taurus woman because her family life is based on the instinct. Many things in her home will depend on her mood or strength of feelings. She is proud and stands tall in what she believes in. Scorpio woman does not show an abundance of emotions, especially in public. That's so true. She's a strong and steadfast character in everything she does. She does from the depths of her being. Although she's very devoted to her husband, she never idealizes what she loves. Her relationship to the world is very realistic, so that she sees her man just as he is. Her sexual appetite is huge, and she requires strong satisfaction. A Scorpio woman is alluring, mysterious, and magnetically beautiful. A subtle stare, fascinating smile, or gesture tells a lot about her mystery. In a sense, she is inclined to extreme situations. She will always satisfy their sexual appetites first, and then she will think about them. She needs very involved a man who will never stand in her way, but who will be able to meet. There you go. Let's start with that one first. Okay. I don't know much about Scorpio women in a marital relationship already, but one thing is for sure, and it's something that I would agree on, is that first and foremost, a Scorpio woman or a man, especially a Scorpio woman, will be very, very loyal to her partner. And I like the fact, or agree rather to the fact that when we love someone, let's say I have a husband, I would definitely support all of his dreams. If I have to be in the background, just try to support him, I will do that. Okay, so long as I can see that there is effort, there is determination to succeed, and of course, above all, you love the person, of course, so you support everything that he wanted to achieve in life. And you're going to make his wishes come true, like join forces and be like a teamwork, basically. And I like the fact as well, what it says here, that they're actually really great mothers to their children because it's based on instinct. I've seen a Scorpio mother before. I don't really know her that much, but she's actually the older sister of my erstwhile best friend. And she really is a Scorpio. I mean, the strength, you can really tell how brave she is. She stands up for her rights, and she actually is a single mom. And she was able to she brought up all of her 4 children all by herself, and she's very brave. She's very determined, and although she doesn't work, because she has to take good care of her 4 kids, and I think she only has a business or something. She was able to, carry out her duty really, really well, and I could see how protective she is of her children. Very, very protective. So, that's one thing I'd like to share about Scorpio women. And another thing that I like here, what it says about Scorpio woman, is that when she stays in the house, just like that example, she would really focus everything on the children. And I think it's the same thing that I can apply for myself. Although I would like, as much as possible, to be, also working and not just staying around the house if ever I get married someday. But I definitely focus or give all of my energy if I need to stay at home. I would definitely give all of my energy for the children. So for home and for the husband and all that. So I would agree to what's being said in here about a Scorpio woman, how she is when she's married. Okay. Now let's move on to the Scorpio as a husband. It is the hardest thing to achieve marital harmony or successful with him. The only way that it is still possible to perform is that his wife is always in his shadow. There you go. And to blindly follow in all of its endeavors. A Scorpio man is a passionate person with a very clever and introspective mind. This holds true in everything else that he does, especially in love and marriage. He cannot stand the dominant woman in any way. He is a typical old-fashioned soul. He can be a tyrant in a house. His love reactions are strong and extreme. He is sometimes prone to violence. However, this character does have a few chances for happiness. First of all, it is often very successful at his job and is able to support himself and his wife and children. He usually worships children. A Scorpio man is a strong individual full of mystery who's constantly looking for power and is quite loyal to his loved ones. He is a very possessive and jealous man. Hell yeah. In fact, no matter how much love and attention he has received, I freaking agree with this one, he will always have a reason to be suspicious and will constantly believe that women and children and business friends are working against him. He loves his wife and children, but he will never learn to express feelings appropriately. His love is selfish and torments him and others. Sexual voracity is also part of his nature. His desires are enormous. In terms of morality and sex, he will always satisfy his sexual appetites and then he will judge them. He is intense, suspicious, and quite a jealous creature in any relationship. But at the same time, he's the best man a woman can ever have, with humble words, tender touch, and burning passion. That one is really, really interesting. Oh, gosh. Reason why, because, this is based on my interaction with, Scorpio male who are already married. I have a lot of acquaintances who are actually Scorpios. As for the Scorpio male, based on my experience and what they tell me or what I've observed or learned from them, definitely the jealousy and possessiveness is so freaking true. So even though you're not really cheating or what, sometimes they're overly suspicious. It's true that Scorpios, they are the psychic of the zodiac, and they're very powerful. They have a powerful gut feeling, but the problem is sometimes in a negative way they can be overly suspicious, even though nothing is really happening. And I've observed that in some Scorpio relationships. I've seen that in Scorpio men. Not my relationship, I'm not married with a Scorpio man, but I know a lot of Scorpio guys who are already married too, and I could really sense how possessive they are towards their partners. I'm going to cite an example, and I think I've mentioned this in the previous recordings, because we're talking about jealousy and possessiveness here. A Scorpio man is definitely possessive. I know someone who's actually, really demanding that his wife goes home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All right? And if he can't, or if she can't do that, like let's say she's just an hour or two late, and she can't be there during those times that he's because he goes home for a break. His work is really near his home. Okay. So he usually goes home like 4 p.m. Although he finishes his shift like 7 p.m. in the evening. But at 4 p.m. he will take his break, and he expects his wife to be there at 4 p.m. And let's just say his wife cannot, do that. Sometimes, because of the traffic and all the other circumstances, she will be home by 6 o'clock, or let's say 5:30 or 7 o'clock at the most. He will really explode. And they usually fight or argue about it. That's how possessive they are and jealous. Like, he would always demand her, like, and ask her, like, why is it that you're still not home yet? What were you doing? And, even when it comes to friends, okay? So I had a hard time at first, conversing with, and I'm talking about, actually, it's a Scorpio-Cancer relationship, okay? My best friend is actually a Cancer. She's married to a Scorpio guy, okay? And she is actually expressing all of her, frustrations about, the challenges in her marriage or relationship with a Scorpio guy. Because, again, he's very possessive and he's very demanding. And, of course, not too much understanding of, of the circumstances, of course. Which actually creates a lot of conflict, in the relationship. So, I had a hard time too, because at first he was also not possessive only with the guys, okay, but also with even girls, even gays, At first when we were talking, my best friend and I were talking, he doesn't like it, like he can't handle it. Like, it took not too long, but we had to go out together, all of us, so they can actually really observe and understand me, who I am. Like, am I a good friend to his wife or something? Which is only natural, and I could understand him because I'm also Scorpio, right? So, it took, not a long while, but until he got used to it. But he is really possessive, even if, and jealous of the attention of other people, not just guys, okay, but also even friends. And in my own personal experience, I've also dealt with a Scorpio guy who's overly possessive and jealous. Like, he would also be that demanding and controlling. Like, we're not even, like boyfriends and girlfriends, but he would actually expect me to do his bidding. Like, if he wants me not to go to this place, like, he would really ask me, like, you would really expect some negative reaction. Like, he would just definitely express his, disgust. Like, for instance, I'm going to go to this place, and he would tell me, so you're going to that place again? It's like we're married. We're not even married. He's not even my boyfriend, but I fell in love with that Scorpio guy, by the way. So, it's kind of, challenging. It's really challenging because, I saw that control thing in him as well. And another thing that I can cite as an example about the possessiveness, I talked to a lot of friends via cell phone, especially during, break times. And I could sense that he doesn't like it, And I was like, there's nothing wrong with me talking to other people. I have other friends too. Like, can't you understand that? I never even, questioned you about your friends. Or, he has friends as well, guy friends who are actually coming over and, they're going out, having lunch together, Although, it doesn't happen very often, but I don't see the problem with me, conversing with other people other than him. So that's a really great example of how possessive a Scorpio guy can be. As for the jealousy of a Scorpio woman, that's also true. Both men and women Scorpios are known for being extremely jealous of their partners or their loved ones. Okay, and it's true that Scorpio guys are also very old-fashioned, okay? I'll cite another example. So going back to the Cancer best friend and her Scorpio husband, he's very old-fashioned. Like, Actually, even the guy that I was talking about, my personal experience, that guy I was just mentioning earlier, actually, both of them really are the typical Scorpio old-fashioned guys. Like, they would really raise their eyebrows if they see you wearing shorts or wearing skirt. Okay, so my best friend who's a Cancer, her husband would really, freak out, even if she's just going to wear not really short shorts, not too shorts, not too short, but the fact that she's still wearing a short, even though, it's like a knee-length short or whatever, he would still freak out. He doesn't like her going out in public wearing that, So it's very, very old-fashioned. And I also encountered that with that Scorpio male friend that I was talking about earlier. Like, he would also give me a lot of nasty comments. Like, I could really see how possessive old-fashioned he is. He would usually comment about my dress. Now, mind you, I don't wear clothes that are, really too revealing. I guess the only wardrobe where, let's say, I do wear shorts during weekends or when I'm at home, and it's really short, I know, but not too short, like, it's short, and, but when it comes to, let's say, in the workplace, I do, wear appropriately. I do wear clothes that are appropriate for what setting that is. Like, if it's in the office, I wear, clothes that is appropriate, okay, for work. And he would actually tell me, like, your dress is so short. I mean, it's not too short, but he would already, like, really comment about it. And he would tell me that, why are you wearing that, okay? Don't wear that. And try to wear, longer skirts or something. He's that possessive. Definitely. He's that old-fashioned. So I hope that I somehow was able to share some, valuable information there to you guys. And again, this is just based on my experience as well and on other people's experience. Okay, now, before we end this recording, I think we still have a few ones, but part of the information here, because we've talked about Scorpio woman and Scorpio as a wife and the Scorpio as a husband, there's also a part here that says Scorpio man and Scorpio woman in marriage. There you go. This one's, especially that our next topic on the next recording is about a Scorpio to Scorpio relationship. It says here, yes. When two Scorpios meet, they make intense lovers, wanting emotional involvement more than anything from a relationship. That's so freaking true. The association of Scorpio men and women is one of the most sensational and intense relationship with all of the emotions and at their highest. They know what they want and do not veer off the path they have started down. Soulmates? Oh yeah, these two can stay grounded together and remember to come out of those emotional depths from time to time. Perfect pair. Go for it. I would agree to that one. Actually, again, that's the reason why most of my friends and acquaintances are Scorpios. It's because we can easily understand each other. Again, I would just repeat myself that if there's one sun sign that can truly understand a Scorpio, it's a fellow Scorpio. Okay? Of course, it doesn't apply to everybody, but there is a 90% chance, okay? Excuse me. And one of the things I'd like to share is that the reason why I would say that I would agree it's a perfect pair, because, again, you mirror each other, you understand each other, and that's why I really jive well with Scorpio male or female, okay? Especially the males. It's nice to hang out with Scorpio males, actually. They're really fun. And they're very direct to the point. And the loyalty, you would definitely admire the loyalty of a Scorpio man and a Scorpio woman. And about the emotional depths, that's why I really agree to this one when it says here, excuse me, I have to clear my throat. Okay. Wanting emotional involvement more than anything from a relationship. That's so true. And the reason why it's going to click as well is because both are emotional, both can understand each other, both mirror each other, both knows when to stop, or if one needs to, to give way to the other, unless both are actually, let's just say the scenario is they don't agree to that belief or to that topic or whatever it is, or a decision, okay? And if none of them rather, wants to back down, then there's the trouble that you're looking for. Trouble is going to brew. And the sad part is, if they really, if they fight or argue, it's going to be a love and hate relationship. So they're going to hate each other so bad that they're going to sting at each other. That's the sad part. So it is true that if they can stay grounded together, if they were able to overcome those need for control, and one of them, gives way, then it's going to be a really great partnership, because it can be a really soulmate type of relationship, because, again, you understand each other so well. I've had that kind of feeling when I fell in love with a Scorpio man. Everything was so perfect. Like, it was really heaven. Like, everything, the conversation, it's free-flowing. No BS. Everything is, so natural. And sometimes we would laugh, like we can, we just stare at each other and we understand each other already. Like it's that instant, like it's hard to explain, but it's just like, even, just by staring at each other, we can, send some signals there. Like, and then we're going to laugh, together. Like, we're going to laugh because we both understand what we meant, even just by looking at each other's eyes, It's that or amazing, rather. And another thing is, the loyalty. We fight for each other. We stand by, and we also share a lot of things in common, So that's why it's a really great partnership or relationship. Sadly, though, if we don't agree to a certain, point, or at a certain point, or at some, decision, that's when, both of us will argue and will not back down, and would always, Scorpios are stubborn too, okay? So none of us will like to back down or give way. Then you will see, a lot of trouble. And sadly, it comes to a point that, both Scorpios are going to sting each other, just like what I mentioned earlier. All right. So, before we end this recording, I'm going to read another one. This one is about a Scorpio woman, okay? Because we said a lot of, we're mentioned a lot of information about Scorpio man earlier. Now, this is from Scorpio-Personality-Traits.com, and the topic is, what happens to marriage life of a Scorpio woman? Okay, it says here that once you have passed numerous mental tests and successfully entered her secretive zone, you can entirely be sure about your Scorpio wife's faithfulness. With a young energy, she is willing to put much effort to nurture the marriage life with romance, emotion, and happiness. A Scorpio man will take responsibility for working hard to provide his wife with the sufficiently financial support. Now, how about a Scorpio woman? Being a resourceful character, your Scorpio wife is the great shoulder for you at any time you're down. That's so true. Give you all sorts of care and comfort that you need. Besides, she's ready to work hard to keep the house in order. Never think that her possessiveness and domination will drive you to suffer house chore. In fact, she's pleased to do the chore spotlessly as long as her husband loves her with the whole heart. Okay? Remember that she's sensitive enough to realize how faithful you are via your eyes. Okay. Along with that, a Scorpio woman can figure out others' attitude via their body language. Yep. Whenever her partner's attitude mismatches hers, she is straightforwardly shows her discontentment. In the same sense, when doing the act of love or baby-making sex, she gets angry and hurt when there is any sign of disinterest or bore. Her sexual confidence and flirtation mainly depend on her husband's attitude and behavior. As long as you show your passion and enthusiasm, she will give you the satisfied performance, creation, and attraction right on the bed. A Scorpio woman's married life can't be confined at home all the time. Her life mate must understand this point and encourage her to show her knowledge at offices. See? Yeah, that's true. The mutual understanding is significant in any relationship. Never let your Scorpio lady suffer stress or depression because of loneliness. Let her display her courage and determination in her own way. Okay, let's stop with that first. So I like the part, it's true again, the Scorpio male will be the one, actually, as a married Scorpio man, he will definitely provide everything that his own family needs, everything. He will really be that responsible. He would work hard to provide the needs of his children, of his wife, and I've seen that in a lot of Scorpio guys who are already married. You know, they're very committed to their relationship, especially when it comes to finances. You know, they're that responsible and hardworking. Now, for the Scorpio women, it's true that a Scorpio woman actually wanted to, you know, to give everything, just like what I mentioned earlier, would definitely give everything that our partner needs, you know, comfort, all the support that our partner needs. We'll definitely give all that. I like the part as well when it says here that do not, like, you know, don't try to limit her into, you know, like, can't be confined at home all the time. But again, just like what we read earlier, it says there, if she really needs to stay at home, then she would focus all of her energy into her home and children, which is true. But as much as possible, in my case, I agreed with that because I really don't want as much as possible to be confined at home all the time. As much as possible, at least I would like to have a business of my own, or you know, because I'm very, definitely I'm a hardworking person. I really am a workaholic, a hardworking person. So I don't want to be, you know, just doing all the chores and that's it. I feel unproductive. But of course, if my kids are really young, like they're still babies, I would definitely focus all of my energies there, right? To make sure that they're, you know, well taken care of. But I also would like, you know, to still have work of my own and provide something for the family or help my husband as well, or at least a business of my own. Okay. So this one is pretty great. Okay, about the baby making sex, not sure. Okay, but I believe those information there would definitely help you, Scorpio listeners out there, or other people listening to this audio recording who has a Scorpio partner. Okay, now the last part will be this one: jealousy, the frequent mood in marriage life of Scorpio women. No matter how faithful her husband is, the Scorpio wife has a tendency to think of her spouse's sexual relation with another person. Why so? It is mainly because jealousy is in her inborn characteristic, so that can be changed easily. She usually believes that others are trying to take her man away from her. Hence, to maintain the thrill of being in love, her man is required to have the great degree of tolerance and sympathy. So that's a great advice for Scorpio women out there. You need to have control of your jealousy, okay? Anything that is too much would definitely kill it, right? So moving on, even when her husband is more successful than her in terms of business achievement, she also gets jealous. I don't think so. Nah. That's what I was telling earlier. If she really loves her husband and he's making a lot of, you know, money, and, you know, if you really love your husband, you definitely be on the background and just support him. Probably these are the competitive Scorpio women, okay? I'm not saying I'm not competitive, but it depends. When it comes to partners, loved ones, especially if you really wanted them to achieve, you know, their dreams, you would definitely help them, right? Anyway, the distrust and suspicion drive the self-driven woman to endure anxiety all day and night. Besides, sometimes she's likely to behave in a secretive way that makes the spouse feel confused and displaced. Now, as a responsible mother, the Scorpio doesn't let her kids play inside all the time. Instead, she allows them to play outside and gain life experience as much as possible. And besides, she tends to have the high expectation in her children's performance with the good results via grades. Definitely. I'm seeing that if ever I'm going to have a kid someday, definitely. That's so true. I have high expectation of my kids in terms of, having good grades. And I would definitely make sure and help them, be good students and, getting a lot of A's, of course. Spontaneity, independence, and confidence, There you go. So that's about it. Okay. Before I wrap this up, and I thought it's going to be just, a really short recording. It turned out to be still, more than 30 minutes. I guess I can't really limit it to 15 minutes. I think the shortest recording was 11 minutes. Anyway, before I wrap this recording, I would just like also to share something. The last part about the jealousy thing, you know what? That one is really great because what I wanted to say is that because of us identifying the weaknesses of each sun sign. So let's go general here. The reason why I really like to understand the common traits of each sun signs, number one, it gives you a lot of information. It's knowledge, right? So it gives you a lot of information in which you will begin to understand each sun sign. Why are they like that? What are their strengths and what are their weaknesses, okay? So another thing is that by identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, then you can actually improve yourself for the better. For instance, earlier, it was mentioned that Scorpio women are very jealous, actually goes for both sexes, Scorpio man and Scorpio women. Now, by identifying the weaknesses of a Scorpio, then I guess you should start to work something, out from there, right? So the advice definitely for both Scorpio man and Scorpio woman is to control. Try to have control of your emotions. Try to have control on your being too possessive or overly possessive or extreme jealousy, because anything that is extreme will definitely kill you, right? So it's not going to be really healthy. So I guess that's the thing that I like about understanding the sun signs, because you can definitely see the strengths and the weaknesses there. Anyway, there you go. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Watch out for the next recording. I'm going to post it in a little bit. Okay? Bye. See ya.